What is going on, everybody? It's episode 879 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. Phil, you all good?
I'm ready.
His mic was in my shot.
Oh, it was covering you completely?
No, in the corner.
It's as you said, Brett. It just adds to the ambiance, all of the chaos.
It does.
Well, Phil is joining us. Introduce yourself,
Hello,
sir.
everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. How are we today, ladies and gentlemen?
We're good. I mean, it was an interesting start to the day, but I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, as always, guys. But before we get started, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the videos, the live streams, all the content out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, people in your life that you both love and hate in equal measure, especially the people that you hate, because then you can go down into the comments section. You can argue about it. People are arguing in the comments section right now about our Jennifer Love Hewitt video.
They're actually not. I checked the comments. You thought that people were going to say we were the fat shamers. We were not fat shaming.
We are not.
Nobody interpreted it that way, thankfully, but that thumbnail, I know what you ate last summer. I know it's unoriginal,
well, it was a quote that I saw.
It's something that someone
somebody
actually said, and
those single quotes will save you every time.
Yeah, definitely. Such a loophole.
I have a question. So when people do air quotes, is there like a version where they just do one finger for single quotes, or is it always two fingers?
I have never
when air quoting.
I've never seen single fingers.
Seems like a great skit piece of humor that somebody would have done back in the
like
day.
someone does this and then
and
like someone's like, what is
sometimes
that?
If I'm making fun of a comment that someone left me online, I'm doing the little typing instead of the scare quoting.
Perfect. Yeah. But that video is doing well, so you should follow in its footsteps, and you should go on all the content, and you should argue with people about it and share it out everywhere that you see it, because it helps the channel grow. So thank you guys so much for that. So what are we getting into today? Well, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. I wasn't sure if I thought of something like this as a lead topic, but it's kind of blowing up on X with memes and such, which is that Coldplay, the band Coldplay, yes, I know, it's been a long time since you've thought of Coldplay, and even then, you probably didn't think about them very much when you were growing up, but they are, I could see a new reality show coming. They are exposing cheating-ass cheaters at their concerts.
I could have the storyline mixed up, but didn't Chris Martin cheat on Gwyneth
Paltrow?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to go. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Takes one to know one. That's how you recognize the body language.
If that did happen, I think they Gwyneth Paltrow and Dakota Johnson wouldn't have ended up being friends. But actually, Chris Martin is newly single. He split up with Dakota Johnson. So
that's why he's ruining. That's what happened.
Now he just wants to ruin everybody's relationship.
Did he split up with her, or did she split up with him? If she split up with him, he's just out to ruin everybody's fun right now because he's in a bad mood.
But I think it might have been the scenes that Dakota Johnson filmed with Pedro Pascal in Materialists that kind of bothered him deep down.
So we're going to talk about this viral clip of this CEO of a tech company getting caught canoodling with his HR manager.
It's always the HR hypocrites.
And if that wasn't embarrassing enough, they were caught canoodling at a Coldplay concert. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Superman again, because it looks like Israel, or at least fans of Israel, are boycotting this movie, calling it agitprop against the state of Israel.
What is agitprop?
Superman?
Yes.
I've heard that term before, but I never looked it
propaganda.
up. Agitation propaganda? What does that mean?
So they want to agitate people so that they have an opinion that is against whatever against whatever entity. So when people are saying things bad about the U.S., they're agitating people against the U.S.
So they're saying it's agitation propaganda against Israel. It's meant to agitate people against Israel.
Yeah, they're saying that Moravia is secretly Israel.
Right.
So we're gonna look. I've got some dates written down, and the dates aren't dating, at least as far as
the math ain't mapping.
We'll get into it. Like, I could be wrong on all of this, but we're gonna talk about that. We are also gonna talk about the women. Are the women okay? Because they have taken to stealing men's food just to get a date.
God, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of clever.
Stealing a finance bro's salad so that he'll ask you out on a date. I think I saw a movie like this once.
I mean, you don't want to date a guy who eats salads.
I mean, he's paying attention to his appearance. Don't you want a guy who's going to live for a long time?
Nah.
These women can't be consistent on anything.
He can't be eating salads. I mean, salads are like the biggest health food scam ever.
Maybe the idea is that they'll steal the salad, but not the main course, because he'll actually get angry if you steal the steak. But the salad, he's like, she's just doing my work for me. Now I don't have to eat it.
Right.
Yeah,
I was just reflecting on this. Don't you think that maha as a phrase should never have taken off? It sounds terrible. Like, it's not.
Why?
It's not catchy. It's definitely not MAGA. Maha.
I don't hate maha. I mean, I don't live maha, but
it sounds terrible.
I saw Steak and Shake talking about maha today on X.
They're a bunch of liars.
They're going to first of all, they use beef tallow now as opposed to any kind of vegetable oil to fry their stuff, and they're also going to use Coca-Cola with corn syrup or with sugar as opposed to corn syrup.
Bring back the cocaine or bust.
Phil, they hoodwinked you because it's not true.
I mean, I don't know if
they're lying.
Well, how do you know?
They ship the fries in frozen, or the potatoes in rather frozen, but already with seed oils on them. Then they refry them in the beef tallow. There's already seed oils on them. So they're like getting called out for this and telling
Alex
all of
Clark would never.
Alex Clark was literally in a back and forth with Steak and Shake.
Just a one woman jihad against Steak and Shake.
They were trying to backtrack and say, no, I mean, we're on a journey like all of you. Like, this is just the first step. We're on the way to being maha.
They've got their maha binders that they're holding up over at Steak and Shake.
They really thought they could fool everyone. I just want you guys to know, if you're trying to give up seed oils, Steak and Shake is not the place to go.
Somebody do a skit of a bunch of maha influencers coming out of a Steak and Shake with binders that say Phase 1.
Exactly.
Do that. Well,
Such a scam.
So look, there's
Steak and Shake hoax.
There's all sorts of political scams going on right now. So we got a bunch of other stuff to get into today. If you guys are ready, we can go. Mary, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Bill,
let's go.
Let's go.
Last week we were quite bullish on Justin Bieber and the trajectory of his career because
he has been all over X lately.
He is posting nonstop trying to promote his new album that he dropped as a surprise for all of his fans. A lot of it is dedicated to his wife, Hailey, who allegedly, according to a new report from TMZ, actually volunteered to bail him out of massive debt that he owed to his former manager, Scooter Braun. He owed this debt because back in 2021, he had to cancel the remainder of his worldwide Justice tour after his diagnosis with Ramsay Hunt syndrome. And it was a huge news item because of people talking about vaccine side effects. He had half of his face completely paralyzed. I think shortly after that, his wife Hailey experienced a mini stroke as well. Two ostensibly, young, totally healthy people going through these extreme medical crises at the same time was really weird. At the time, people were coming up with all sorts of theories about it. But he had to cancel the remainder of the Justice tour, and he had an advance given to him for that tour that he was not able to pay back then.
To Hybe.
When he refunded the tickets to his fans. So Hybe, if you were unaware, is Scooter Braun's company.
Not anymore. He's gone now.
He's not involved in Hybe anymore?
No, he doesn't get any of this money. It goes to Hybe, and I think he left.
He doesn't have a role there anymore?
I think he's like a consultant, so he's not going to he wouldn't get money from this because he would be basically an employee.
Okay. So, and it was just a few weeks ago that Justin's wife, Hailey, sold her entire beauty brand called Rhode. And this was only created just a couple of years ago and took off extremely quickly and got to a valuation of $1 billion. She sold it.
He stepped down on July 1st, but he's still on the board of directors. Continue.
He's still involved.
Yes.
Hailey sold her beauty brand, and it had just made it to Sephora shelves. It was a huge deal. They have these phone cases that girls these days are obsessed with, and it's designed to hold the Rhode lip gloss. Huge phenomenon. Justin even referenced it in the lyrics on Go Baby in the new album. And this whole album, according to you, Brett, you interpret this as a huge apology tour for his wife and everything he's put her through.
It feels very hyper-focused, at least in the stuff that I listened to. I didn't get through the whole thing, but like more than a few songs. At the very least, the lyrics weren't layered enough to not make it feel that way.
Mm-hmm. And this is just coming on the heels of Justin Bieber selling his entire discography as well. So there were a lot of headlines about him being in financial dire straits. And it seems, if TMZ is to be trusted, and I usually do trust them, that Hailey Bieber had to swoop in and save him from this debt because he wasn't able to pay it. She has to get the sale through of her beauty brand before he's able to pay off this debt of $31 million.
Your interpretation is that she would have held on to the company for longer, but because Justin invested in the company early and he would get a $50 million payout from the sale of the company, he pressured, he said, look, I want to make my investment back. So you should sell your brand.
Correct. Okay. That's my interpretation of it, at least. We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Happy Thursday to Brett, Empress, and Phil. I finally have my Save the Gongo t-shirt. I will spread the story of the plight of the Gonganese everywhere I go as a disciple of the Gongo. What more should I do? Long live PCC.
My Save the Gongo mug came in. Yeah. I put it up on the interwebs in case you're interested in seeing that.
Yes, every mug counts. Every t-shirt counts toward the Gonganese cause. And we also donate all Superchats to the Gongo.
To the Gongo.
So that's the next thing you can do.
We promise.
Thank you for that. So my interpretation of this is that behind the scenes, Justin Bieber probably was pressuring his wife to sell her brand before she would have ever considered doing so that he would be able to pay off this debt. And I think that is really shitty. I mean, I think that that's not her responsibility.
If this ends up being true. If
this is true.
I mean, like, again, there could be multiple interpretations of this. Perhaps they said with the launch into Sephora, your company is going to be valued very high right now. The good thing that she has going for her, assuming that we take your, like, what your interpretation is true, is that with a brand launch this successful, that she will be able to launch many more brands because investors will look at her image as one that's reliable.
Right. But
this won't stop with her.
So this is from TMZ. Justin will not pay his multi-million-dollar debt to Scooter Braun's former company Hybe immediately. He will have to ante up until money from the sale of his wife's Rhode beauty company hits their bank account, TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge tell us the settlement between Scooter Braun and Justin has one key provision. Justin doesn't square his $31 million plus debt until the Rhode deal is closed and fully funded. That will be, I think, a month from now. TMZ broke the story. An independent audit showed Justin owed Scooter's company $26 million after Hype paid AEG that amount to bail Justin out for canceling his Justice Tour. He also owed Scooter $11 million in back commissions. There was another $8 million debt that Justin owed Scooter for other commissions, but Scooter waived that amount because he's just such a good guy.
His name's Scooter. Of course he is.
Under
totally
the terms
trustworthy.
of the settlement, Justin agreed to pay Hybe $26 million and half of the $11 million in back commissions, the total coming to around $31.5 million. Our sources say Justin doesn't have the cash to repay the loan, which is just insane to think about. This guy doesn't have $31 million laying around after his extremely successful career and the sale of his discography for multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. That is wild to think about.
I don't know. I don't know, obviously, what he does with his money, but $31 million, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, of course. But for Justin Bieber, you would assume it's not much, especially after the sale of his music.
He sold his catalog for $200 million, and I believe the Hybe deal allows him to keep.
Yes,
he keeps his masters.
So then he only gets. So then he gets probably
$100 million of that after.
Probably maybe 90, but still. So that's like a lot of money.
But if that's your big outstanding debt, then isn't it worse to hold on to it and not pay it off? Like, where did the $90 million go?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you need to pay your bills and stuff, but I mean, and I know this is how, or this is the crux of the story, but I can't even imagine how you get that far into debt to your management.
Well, this is because of the tour getting canceled early.
Right.
I
But
can't
you would
believe there
assume
wasn't
if it
insurance
was
on
because
that.
of a medical crisis, you would assume that would be insured. So there must have been some really egregious mismanagement going on, and that's probably related to him cutting off a lot of business ties in the past year. So the sale of Rhode Beauty was for $1 billion, but there were a number of investors. Obviously, Hailey, the founder, gets a big chunk of the money, but Justin is also an investor. He invested how much at the beginning?
Oh, did it say in this?
It just says that his cut,
the payout is $50 million, but
his
that could
cut
be
of the
because
sale will be
the-
50.
Yeah, it didn't say the amount he invested.
And in case you're wondering why Justin couldn't cover the debt with the $200 million sale of his catalog, our sources say there's not enough left.
Yeah, after managers, accountants, lawyers, taxes.
And who knows, maybe payments to his spiritual advisors. The good news for Justin is the settlement gives him ownership of his masters, which is a big deal for an artist. Scooter does not actually get any of this settlement money. It all goes to Hybe after Scooter has left the company.
Yeah, so what it says here is that he left the company, but he stepped down as CEO, but he's joining in like an executive advisory role, and he'll be on the board of directors. So I don't know if he'll see the money himself, but he's absolutely relevant to where the company goes moving forward.
I just sent you a tweet of mine from last year that I believe is relevant to the discussion. The baby daddy hug is what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's that hug from behind that, you know, your baby daddy or your
She's wearing sweatpants. If she had
your
jeans
waster
on,
boyfriend.
If she had jeans on, his hands would be in her back pockets.
Yes, yes. These couples, when the woman is paying the bill for, be it Chipotle or a $31 million debt, he's hugging from behind and saying, "I'll get the next one, babe."
Yeah.
And if it's true that Hailey did not have plans to sell her brand without pressure from Justin, that is effed up. I really do think that's effed up because she shouldn't have to clean up your messes for you financially.
I mean, but like, so are Kim Kardashian's brands public, or are those her own?
I don't know why.
Like, I'm just wondering what the path to follow is in this industry. If how common it is to sell your beauty brand, if you're one of these women that launches these successful brands, like how long do you hold on to it before you sell it? Because I imagine a lot of them end up selling out to these bigger brands, which hold a larger market share and allows them. You know, they get sold the idea like if you want to reach more people in more stores, you have to do business with us because we get a certain amount of the shelf space in these companies, you know?
I'm looking it up. There are other celebrity-owned beauty brands, of course. So in 2019, Kylie Jenner sold a majority stake in Kylie Cosmetics. And then there's also a huge one that Selena Gomez owns. So let's see if Selena did the same. Sell Rare Beauty. That's the name of her brand. Selena has not sold her beauty brand.
She's holding on to it.
Yeah, she has denied explicitly any plans to sell the company, saying, yep, that was back in May of 2024, rather, that she said that, despite early reports that she was exploring a potential sale, which would have valued the brand at $2 billion.
Yeah.
The sale process was paused, and there's no indication that the sale was finalized.
Yeah.
It remains privately held, and Selena Gomez continues to be actively involved in operations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what to make of that. There's no confirmation, of course, that Hailey Bieber was pressured by her husband into making the sale, but it's just giving me sugar mommy vibes. Like, I know there are a lot of claims that Hailey Bieber was obsessed with Justin for years throughout their adolescence, that she used her family celebrity connections to just end up in the same spaces as him and plant the seeds so that eventually she would end up being his wife. And if that's true, it did work out for her. This is level of female simpery that we've never comprehended before, if this is true, that she was pressured into selling her brand at his behest. That is definitely effed up, in my opinion, if true.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. There is a theory going viral on TikTok at the moment that women are blaming for their singlehood. It's called the pearl earring theory. And these women are convinced now that wearing pearl earrings is possibly the culprit for why men are not approaching them and not pursuing them. It sounds so ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So this is from InStyle. TikTok's pearl earring theory might be the reason you're still single. And the theory goes that in modern dating, wearing pearls, be them earrings or whatever else, piece of jewelry, can repel male suitors as it leaves the impression that the woman wearing them is expensive or too high maintenance of a partner. So a man will take that as a signal that she is somehow out of his league, unattainable, or has unrealistic high standards.
I laugh at the picture they use of it's a time long since forgotten where this gender issue just wasn't what it is today.
Yeah. So this is taking over all of these women's algorithms, and they're using this as an explanation for why men are too intimidated to talk to them.
So do you think this is true?
I recall that we were getting into a little back and forth yesterday about this topic, and it spans beyond just pearl earrings for sure. I'm glad we have Phil here for a third opinion, but we should listen to this TikToker Morgan McGuire and her. She seems to be convinced that this is the reason why she's single, and she's convinced that this is the reason why, even though she has a huge following online, she doesn't even get men sliding into her DMs.
Lol.
No, because recently I've been realizing I'm chronically single. You would think by having a big following I'd have a gluttonous amount of guys DMing me. Nope. I just found out about pearl earring theory. Why is that a thing? Are you joking? This is so fake of people to not tell me. No wonder I'm single all the time. I'm decked out in pearls. Surely it is everywhere on everything. My nails even look. Can we just change that to gold jewelry theory? I don't think I look intimidating. If a guy comes up to me, I'm legit gonna go like this. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys, love you.
So, if we're talking about jewelry, I actually would have thought giant hoop earrings would be more of a turnoff.
I love those.
Than pearls. You have mentioned in the past that you like big dangly earrings, though.
Big hoops, yep.
Big hoops specifically?
Okay, so is that the only one
I specifically bought Sarah a couple of pairs of hoop earrings because I like them.
I think that would place you in the minority of men.
That's fine.
Okay, beyond that, do you even notice, like, what other, like, if she's wearing earrings, do you clock it, or does it kind of just blend into the rest of her attire?
If they're long and dangly, you can't help but notice it, I feel like. And like if they're, whether they be like the straight kind of like, a lot of times you see like a chain and like crosses or whatever or stuff like that. Those I can't help but notice. But if they're small, I probably wouldn't notice, and I probably wouldn't notice pearls either.
That was kind of my point. I was like, if it's kind of like have you ever seen the theory about like it's like the dancing bear running across the stands in the basketball game? That's what this feels like to me. So I'm like, did you see the pearl earrings? Guy will be like, what?
Right.
No.
Okay. This is what we were arguing about because we've talked about this with a variety of different examples. I say men notice things and they don't notice that they notice things, okay? It's a subconscious thing. I think women are far more in tune with the subconscious because they're so much more engaged in their like interior lives, and men are more action oriented and more focused on what's outside of them. But everyone has a subconscious, and everyone is affected by those little things that amount to a first impression of someone. Everything you wear, all the jewelry you wear, the clothing you wear, the way that you do your hair, the way that you speak, the volume at which you speak, the accent you have, the shoes you're wearing, the way that you walk, your hand motions when you're talking, everything, all of these things add up to a first impression that you give someone, and they don't even know that they are taking in all of this information and adding it up to make an estimation of you. But there are so many assumptions that we make about people, and we have no idea that we're making those assumptions about what we believe their socioeconomic status to be, what we believe is their religious or political viewpoint, their family background. Everything that we see on someone that seems superficial, it actually has a lot of deeper meaning that we don't take into account. And I think that men do notice things like the type of jewelry a woman wears. They just don't notice that they notice it.
But that's not what they're saying here. They're laying this at the feet of one specific piece of jewelry, which is insane.
I believe that the pearl earring theory is reductive, of course, but there is a seed of truth in it, and I believe it does hold water that even something as small as the jewelry you wear makes a big impression on people.
There's a 20 there.
From Manic Mustache, late as usual, but apropos to making Kryptonian love, now to the news. Remember that your local JJ Tacos only uses the healthiest rendered animal fats and the purest imported MSG. Stay healthy, my friends.
Of course.
I would rather stay toxic. Thank you very much.
What did I watch the other day where somebody one of the mass shooting in the 70s that happened at a McDonald's, the wife tried to blame it on MSG. Anyway.
This is another thing we debated about ages ago. Do men notice eyelashes on women? Mm-hmm. Well, they must. Otherwise, women wouldn't wear mascara, would they? It makes a difference whether or not the men looking at your eyelashes know what they're looking at.
I like eye makeup.
Well, that's an unpopular opinion too, actually.
I don't know if that's true, considering how frequently women wear eye makeup.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying there's a difference between the stated preferences of men and the revealed preferences of men.
Eye makeup meaning long lashes, or eye makeup meaning eyeshadow?
Both.
So yeah, I mean, I like both. Okay. So Sarah doesn't wear a lot of eye makeup and stuff, but when she does wear eye makeup, I think she looks nice. Same thing with lashes.
The issue here is that they're putting this at the feet of one specific thing. But yes, I don't imagine men would disagree that you take in all of what somebody is to make a judgment, however superficial that may be, about what or who they may be about, like what they wear, how they carry themselves. All of those things matter, right? So they're not even denying that, because they're saying, I don't like heavy eye makeup, which indicates that they do notice it, right? But
well, what it indicates is they only notice when it's badly done.
And for something like this, when they're talking about a specific type of earrings, I imagine guys are more prone to notice heavy makeup and what they're wearing, like their clothing, as opposed to an accessory like earrings, especially what she's wearing here, which are they were just small and understated. Like a guy's not looking at that and thinking about pearls the way pearls were thought of 30 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay, here's another example that we talked about yesterday. Nails. The way a woman does her nails, that's something that you notice and you make a snap judgment. Mm-hmm. Whether it's fair or unfair doesn't really matter. It only matters that the truth is you're making a snap judgment. Maybe judgment isn't the right word,
but you clock it and
it's a
file
judgment.
it away.
It's a judgment. It's fine. It's fine. I'm pro judgment. Mm-hmm. You should make your judgments and take responsibility for the way that you're judging people, and that's something we all do. Let's not deny reality. Mm-hmm. But you said if it looks like a woman is accustomed to a certain level of preening, that is your exact quotation, that's going to be something that deters you.
You look at it and you're like, they spend a lot of time looking in the mirror, which indicates a certain personality type. Now, of course, everybody can be happy to be proven wrong. You can meet a person, they could be the nicest, most selfless person in the world, but the idea that you judge a book by its cover exists for a reason.
Right. This was another viral tweet that I saw a while back. Men, how would you feel if you went on a first date with a woman and she shows up in sweatpants and a t-shirt with no makeup and her hair in a bun? And all of the replies from men were basically saying they would either feel completely neutral about it, wouldn't take it into account whatsoever about moving forward with this person, or they saw it as a positive thing because that means she's chill, laid back, and real. And that's somehow more authentic than putting in an effort.
Well, it disregards the idea that you have to ask the follow-up question, where are you going, I guess.
Of course, but it's the epitome of an inner citadel when you convince yourself that you don't desire something simply because it's actually unattainable to you or you perceive it to be unattainable to you.
I think a lot of the things that when people were having these debates, what we talked about earlier, what I said was that it makes it makes it seem like it's less of a struggle for the dude. Right, like if she seems easier to please, but that's like it's a false assumption that somebody who shows up in sweatpants is chill. It might mean that they have no respect for the situation that you're entering into.
I agree. Here were a couple of takes from men that I scoured about the pearl earring theory. It's not the pearls, ladies. You using TikTok for life advice tells him that you're a vapid dingbat, easily influenced by other morons, and why deal with your nonsense when he can play Call of Duty with his friends in mommy and daddy's basement?
That might make sense for this specific woman's plight, but that's not the plight of every woman.
And then another one said, in my opinion, it's much more complicated than simply pearls. There is a fine line with each makeup, jewelry, nails, and clothing choice that screams high maintenance. Add to that piercings, tattoos, weight, and political and feminist views.
John Malinowski in the chat kind of hits the nail on it. He says, it's an oversimplified Gen Z debate. Let's have a scenario with no context. Like that's the crux of the internet. There is this pocket of people on the internet who are absolutely brilliant at creating fodder online by what did I say yesterday? I said, like, it's the most hypothetical, unrealistic scenario that's not going to have any bearing on your life. It's like man versus bear.
Right.
Like, it has no bearing on your life. It's never going to happen to you, but it fosters a debate for people that kind of fosters the divide between the sexes.
Get it? It has no bearing. Well, there are responses from women saying they're panicking about this and they're not going to wear pearl earrings anymore so that they can stop repelling men from approaching them. And there are other women who are saying, this is great news. I'm going to be decked out in pearls 24/7 so that men never bother me. And I think both takes are delusional because, as I said, it's more than just the earrings that you wear that makes the snap judgment of people.
Your demeanor.
So,
I noticed they're not talking about their demeanor.
Yeah.
She's not talking about how it's possible that her demeanor might be
which is
scaring
also
the men
completely
off.
in your control.
Yes.
And overall, I would just like people to concede that they are judgmental. Everyone is. Mm-hmm. Everyone makes snap judgments about people over superficial details and doesn't know someone's story. And I also think that's okay. Mm-hmm. I think it's okay to be judgmental and look at some superficial detail of somebody's appearance and make the subconscious assumptions that you will about them based on that, because these things matter. I'm just tired of people saying, you know, the way you do your makeup doesn't matter, the way that you dress doesn't matter. These things are so superficial and frivolous. You should be looking at someone's soul and making a judgment based on that. That's not how reality works. I just wish we could all admit that, yes, it's superficial and it matters.
The thing about it is don't track the validity of this whole debate by this woman's post. Track the validity of the debate by the amount of videos that come out saying, I took off the pearl earrings and the amount of men approaching me skyrocketed. Because I guarantee you that video doesn't exist.
True.
It's not a real thing.
True.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cringe or Cute of the day.
Good timing. Yep. Thank you.
Well, I was saying it, I'm like, the crisis party better not go off. I'm making my point.
Phil is unamused.
He's standing on business now that he's got the money to pay off his debt. He can now officially get back to standing on business.
Let's look at the cringe.
Cringe first?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll get it over with here. All right, it says, spent a really nice day with this girl I met traveling, only for her to react like this when she found out I was a content creator.
Making a video, but I'm going to carry on chatting to you guys while I try this.
Do you travel videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the content creator. And do you do that? Oh, you're not like one of these annoying influencers,
You're not like one of these annoying influencers, right?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Girls that do this are really annoying. They're like, oh my god, come and follow me while I go get on this thing. I'm like, nah, nah, nah. And I'm like,
I mean, I think you get loads of different kind of content creators, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it just depends, like, what you're like as a person, I think.
Australia.
I just literally film myself doing things while I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I'm living my life, basically. I'm just making...
So
to be fair, she turned it into content, which makes her annoying.
Exactly. That's
she also
not what happened when they found out you're a content creator. That's what happened when they found out you were recording their conversation.
Yeah.
Which is socially inept.
Like, it's a person you just met.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, you mind if I sit? The worst part about this stuff is they always prop their phone up on like a water,
on like a wine glass.
Like, at least get a mini table tripod. Could you like take it?
Put in some effort.
Like, the only thing that could be worse than this is if they don't have they have like a crappy editor that still has a freaking watermark on it. Pay the dollar.
Commit
to get rid of the freaking watermark.
At least commit to the bid.
My goodness. All right. Yeah, she had that coming. Not to be judgmental. All right. Cue of the day. This is from Dusty Oracle. He says, this is Barkley. He says, draw me like one of your French bitches.
Bitches?
It's a dog.
Oh, my.
So, this is, it's...
No, it definitely has that vibe.
Yeah.
Lounging like that.
I mean, if I brought that photo up and told Kate Winslet it looks just like you, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Probably a bad thing.
All right. Let's get started.
Chris Martin's relationship with Dakota Johnson recently ended, and it seems like he's on the warpath, trying to ruin as many other relationships as he can, including those of his own fans. At a recent concert for Coldplay in Boston, a couple was shown on the Jumbotron in front of the whole audience. Imagine this. Imagine your spouse finding out that you are cheating on them along with the rest of the world because it went viral online. And imagine that the concert you're watching, the lead singer just calls you out immediately.
Let's watch the video first.
Yep.
Here we
Chris
go.
Martin actually says they're having an affair in the video.
Here we go. Turn the volume up.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay?
They immediately duck and cover their faces.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
This video is it went so viral that my manager sent it to me this morning. He was like, have you seen this? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, dude.
Horrifying.
New York Post has already written follow-up pieces.
This is insane. So in record time, people found out who these two were. They found their names, their LinkedIn pages, where they work. It turns out that the couple in the video is in fact having an affair. It is the CEO of an AI company called Astronomer and his HR executive. To top it all off. That's just the cherry on top of a shit cake.
The irony is palpable here.
Yep. They are named Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot at Astronomer. They've already found the Facebooks, the LinkedIn, their spouses, and the comments are just blowing up. This person said, who would trust Andy Byron when his own wife can't even trust him? They found his LinkedIn profile and people are blowing up his comments saying, so we're all here because he cheated on his wife during a Coldplay concert, right? How was Coldplay with Kristen? And then they're looking at Andy Byron's wife's Facebook saying, absolutely, the universe wanted to out the antics. You could have sent a private message. There was no reason for this.
She has already removed her given name or her her last name from her Facebook profile.
Andy Byron's poor wife will wake up this morning and her entire world will collapse. Don't act like you're sad about it.
No, so this is actually an interesting point to discuss, which is this is one of those areas of the internet where, kind of like we were talking about last week, where people don't care about the backlash. They don't care about the fallout. They don't care that the wife is humiliated by all of this.
Yep.
What they want is to shame him and the woman that he cheated with, not taking into account that the wife, I don't know if they have kids, but they're going to be the collateral damage in all of this. But it doesn't matter to people as long as they get to feel morally justified in their dunking. Mm-hmm. I mean, even I couldn't help it. I tweeted about it. People can't help it.
Right. They're still going in the Facebook comments. One of them said, hopefully about Andy Byron's wife, she's well aware of his embarrassing behind, and that video just adds the icing on the cake for his shame. No woman deserves to wake up to that kind of news. They're acting like they're doing his wife a service.
Also,
in reality, they're just contributing to the downfall of her marriage.
I believe the HR lady is also married. At least somebody's. I can't confirm that, but if she is, then her husband is now. You know,
but it's smooth brains on the internet. Like people that are all worked up about this, they're almost always going to be worked up at the man and not worked up at the woman.
We have another 20 from Not That Jon Stewart. Time to retake that ethics training. It's always the HR hypocrites, isn't it? So Astronomer, I looked at their website. It says Astronomer empowers data teams to bring mission critical software, analytics, and AI to life. They have all of their leadership team with their LinkedIn profiles still on the website. I don't know if someone's going to get fired over this, but that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Does this concert qualify as mission critical workload?
And now New York Post hopped on this and said, Astronomer CEO Andy Byron gushed about Kristen Cabot's hiring months before getting caught on Coldplay's Kiss Cam.
Lots of gushing from
this
these two.
was him commenting on Kristen. She is a proven leader at a multiple growth stage companies, and her passion for fostering diverse collaborative workspaces makes her a perfect fit for Astronomer. And he also said she has a proven track record of preserving and enriching company culture at organizations experiencing rapid growth.
She bends over backwards to keep the company culture going.
In the same release, Kristen Cabot was quoted saying she was energized in her conversations with Andy Byron. And energized is an understatement. And the Astronomer leadership team about the opportunities that exist here. Opportunities both personal and professional, I'm
yes.
sure.
A whole smorgasbord of opportunities. Kiss cams have historically exposed many a cheater in sports.
Yes.
Lawyer up. So I guess either they're going to try to sue Chris Martin for the affair accusation, or if Kristen Cabot loses her job over this, she could easily sue the CEO, Andy Byron, because that's technically against the law.
Oh, in the chat, somebody said
she could say, I was in a power dynamic, an unfair power dynamic with my boss,
Ethan,
who was coercing me into a relationship.
So exhausting.
Yeah,
Ethan
exactly.
Miller in the chat has it right. He says, judging by that hug, she paid for the tickets. He's hugging her from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, babe, I'll get the next one.
Yep, she's gonna take part of the fall.
Look,
for
if
sure.
you ever see me standing, like hugging my girlfriend from behind, like she doesn't work. Okay, I pay for everything.
I did.
Regardless of the hug.
Yeah, I did see this. However, somebody showed somebody else at the Kiss Cam. Elmo holding Candace Owens.
Oh boy!
at the concert.
Caught in the act.
Caught in the act.
Now
I saw this meme. This is not real, of course. Coldplay says on X, starting with our next show, we're introducing a camera-free audience section for people and their side pieces.
Oh no! Don't enable these people. Keep putting them on blast.
This was fake. This was fake. And then now movies that are releasing are using it as meme fodder. Together, the perfect date night movie in theaters, 7:30. She looks like buff Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
They've now disabled comments on LinkedIn, and Kristen Cabot removed her post about promoting a VP in the company last week. Yep, the office is removing comments as well on socials. Andy Byron's wife has dropped her married name on Facebook and left her comments open. What a class act. Go Megan. Get that divorce lawyer and get that money. I mean, it is his fault that this all happened. So
yeah. Wait, does that?
I can't really
I don't know how
blame
much the HR manager makes, but does that mean that her husband's going to get the bag too? I doubt it.
Yeah, this is opening up
again.
a
I don't know if
conversation
she's actually married. I wasn't able to confirm that.
People are obviously questioning the ethics of blowing up someone's spot who isn't a celebrity or a public figure of some kind. I have no idea how people even found all of this information so quickly. It must have been somebody who knows either one of them in the video that saw it on TikTok, and it snowballed from there. But people are arguing that perhaps exposing this affair isn't in the jurisdiction of the court of public opinion online, and other people are saying no, they walked right into this one. They deserve the blowback. They deserve to be publicly humiliated in front of millions. Where do we fall on that question?
I don't think that people deserve to be publicly humiliated in front of millions, because it only the people that are doing the thing wrong are like, they deserve to have bad things happen, but it hurts the other people.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts the wife at home, it hurts the husband, it embarrasses those people. So
kids, if there's kids.
Yeah. So as much as I understand that you want to see, people that are doing this stuff get outed, getting outed in public like that and it going viral and being all over the internet is bad. It's good if it gets outed to the significant other so they know, but it should be done, or the best case scenario is gets outed to the significant other in a private way, so that way the significant other can decide what steps to take without it being blasted all over the place.
You know what it reminds me of, Mary? Do you
What?
remember the story of the guy who got caught cheating on a plane? He was...
I do. I vaguely remember that. I don't remember the details, but there was a man who was with his side piece on a flight, and somebody gathered through eavesdropping that he was cheating on his wife, publicized it, posted the TikTok,
and sent
the wife
TikTok
found
to find
out.
it. Well, they
Everyone
sent
went on a
TikTok
mission
to find his wife.
and they did end up identifying her. I don't remember how that concluded, if his marriage actually was over after that, but yeah, same situation. People are, basically spreading other people's dirty laundry on a public setting.
Rita in the chat is right. Chris Martin should host a new season of Cheaters. I said that this could be turned into a reality show very easily.
You have a title in mind?
I don't know.
Trouble in Paradise
Trouble
was
in
definitely
Paradise
one
is
that was
good.
floated. He
Yeah.
has a song called Another's Arms. I just sent you a meme that was posted by the official Doge account where Andy Byron is embracing the anime avatar that Grok just launched, modeled after Misa. Yeah.
No!
He would have been fine if he just had an AI companion instead of cheating on his wife with his coworker. No one would have found out.
Maybe that's Grok's pitch in this case.
We did find out yesterday that a significant reason people consider dating AI companions is because you don't have to worry about it cheating on you.
Yeah. What if it goes to one of those meta concerts without you? Mm-hmm. Remember when they had the Notorious B.I.G. perform in the metaverse? What if your AI waifu goes to a concert without you in the metaverse? Then what?
Yikes. I can't really feel bad for them.
It's in the metaverse. Did
my
it really
heart.
happen if you didn't see it happen in the metaverse?
I mean, if the wife never saw this happen, did it even if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around?
I do make a distinction between the metaverse and reality.
I mean,
I
I'm
do.
just
I
calling.
hope
I'm
that
calling in
stays
the
that way.
absurdity of it, and I think the real. I mean, more than anything, it was Coldplay, and that's embarrassing enough.
It's
Old
pretty
people like
embarrassing.
that stuff, that's romantic to them. But yeah, I just can't seem to muster up any sympathy for either of them. I do feel, of course, bad for
the
their
wife.
spouses,
Yeah.
respectively, but this is the madness of crowds, right? If they feel they have just cause, they're going to go to any lengths they deem necessary.
And then they wonder why the next generation is on edge all the time because, the freedom that you experienced when you were younger, was something that you had to actually handle with care and be a good person because you could get away with a lot of stuff. Now you're being held to this standard at gunpoint. Mm-hmm. Your compliance isn't because you're a good person. It's because you're worried that somebody's going to be filming you.
Right. It's more virtuous to do the right thing when no one's watching.
Correct. All right.
Let's
go to
read some
Super
super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Phil. Pour one out for my dearly departed Roku. It has bit the dust, but the drive with ad-free Tubi still remains. Swing low, sweet chariot."
Wait, ad-free Tubi?
I thought the whole point of Tubi is that it's
Is there an ad-free
ads.
version? I'll get it.
Actually, that is their thing. I have used ad-free Tubi.
Oh, are we talking
Yes.
about that type of ad-free Tubi?
The ad-free Tubi, it's a thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brian Bledsoe said, Chef's kiss on I Know What You Ate Last Summer. Guess we'll never see her on PCC. Also, the Odyssey IMAX tickets are already sold out in most locations.
See what I mean? Like, that's what I was talking about. If Jennifer Love Hewitt said no to this podcast because of that thumbnail, we would have to be able to explain to her we were calling out people who were saying this about you.
I mean, I don't think we had a chance of getting Jennifer Love Hewitt on the pod before that thumbnail, so we're good.
Look, I could tell her about how I loved The Client List. I loved I Know What You Did Last Summer. I even watched Ghost Whisperer. Are you kidding me?
I'm probably going to watch the Odyssey movie now that I give it some thought. I don't want to watch Elliot Page. Hopefully there's not a lot of screen time on that face, but
yeah, I'm gonna see it. Like I made
I'm
I made the joke. I said, now I got to read the Odyssey, so I can
spark note it.
If I want to be annoyingly nitpicky, I got to read it first.
I did read it, or like I half read it in high school.
All right, let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Okay, I did the research. First live episode was episode 119, and the cursed episodes were 242 to 244. You're welcome, crisis actors.
Rough. Those were dark
days. The cursed episodes were when we had the computer shitting out on us
at an hour and 18 minutes every day.
All right, I might go back and watch those just for my own cringe. I like cringing.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. Significant Israeli boycotts against Superman were prompted by some theories online that the movie is actually written as an allegory about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. There is no proof, of course, but the theories are spreading quickly from both Zionists and anti-Zionists. They are both interpreting the movie as an allegory for this real-world conflict because, of course, their brains are rotted. And
this is one of those political Rorschach tests where whatever is on your brain the most is going to seep its way. To Ben Shapiro's credit, his critique of the movie from like the 3 minutes that we listened to seemed to be more to do with the presentation of Superman, and it wasn't a political statement that he was making. And I want to call into question some dates. Okay, so now this could be true either way because it's not like Israel versus Palestine is something new. It's been going on for a very long time. But this movie began shooting on February 29th, so a leap year, of 2024. And supposedly the script was 99% done before the writer's strike. So in like late April of 2023, before October 7th happened. He did say that they made some touch-ups to the dialogue, like during the production. So I'm looking at that joke about the beautiful female Baravian soldiers maybe being added as some type of IDF dig.
That's because the fictional country of Baravia in the movie is supposedly modeled after Israel.
Whereas Jarinpur is supposed to be Palestine, supposedly. Yeah. But when we were watching this movie, Olivia said it reminded her more of India versus Pakistan. And I said, or Russia and Ukraine would have been the more dominant discussion happening at the time this movie was being written.
Like human beings are pattern recognizing animals, and that's all this is representative of. People can't help but look for similarities and things that they're familiar with. That's all this is. It's all just people seeing things that they believe.
And the fact that multiple people can have multiple interpretations of what that war means is a credit to James Gunn for telling a story that at the very least allowed people who might be politically brain rotted to interpret it in whatever way the brain rot leads
for them.
There
were other people who thought Superman was an allegory for autism or an allegory for being gay. Like, it just, you found every theory you could possibly think of what this is supposed to represent, and if you ask James Gunn, he's not going to verify any of them because
if he's smart.
This is people coming at it with their own solipsistic worldview.
I remember Christopher Nolan giving an interview once where he said, I think it was for Memento, he did like a Q&A on the release of the movie. And people asked about like fan theories and like his interpretation. And he made the point, he said, it's up for interpretation, but my idea is this. And when he got off stage, Jonathan Nolan said, you can never do that again. He goes, I said it's up for interpretation. He goes, they will never, they're going to take whatever you said as gospel because you are the one who made it. From now on, if it's up for interpretation, then you need to leave it up for interpretation. So until James Gunn, I guess, comes out and is like, actually, yeah, that Baravian guy was absolutely Benjamin Netanyahu. And until he does that, and let's face it, if Tim comes out and says he doesn't think it's political, if Ben Shapiro's criticism of it is that it has to do with Superman's portrayal, then these are people who live in politics every day. And I've actually, I've mentioned, I think I've said to Tim, I think that sometimes that his movie critiques are colored by how much politics he reads every day, and that the average person will not interpret it that way.
Phil, have you seen Superman yet?
No.
Are you planning on it? I thought you were.
No, I'm not planning on it, and mostly because I'm not going to go to the movies. Maybe I'll see it when it's available on the internet or something. Maybe I'll see it, but no, I'm not particularly interested in this particular Superman.
I had so much fun with it.
I'm still a Snyderverse kind of dude, and well,
this is not that.
Yeah, I know.
So, from the pro-Palestine perspective, Hassan Piker posted a review of the movie saying Superman just exposed Israel on the big screen. And on the other hand, Ben Shapiro posted his review of Superman, and the very first part of the video clarifies he does not agree with interpretations that it's an allegory for Israel or Palestine or Russia or Ukraine or any of these things. He merely had a problem with the portrayal of Superman. So there are intensely political people, as you said, who are not reading it the same way. There is one pro-Palestine TikToker who goes by Blonde Birch Tree, who went viral interpreting this as an Israel allegory.
I saw the new Superman film last night. Tell me why it is as anti-Israel as people are making out to be. Literally all week, obviously, minor spoiler alert, all week people on Twitter have been saying it's explicitly anti-Israel, explicitly anti-imperialist. And I went into watching the film not really expecting too much, maybe a pro-America propaganda film, as most superhero films have been. Without a doubt, that is genuinely the most pro-Palestine I have seen a mainstream film ever be. Again, obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film, but there was literally an entire sequence.
She is going to get into details again, so I will reiterate, if you are going to see it, maybe plug your ears and go la 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 for the foreseeable future.
That could have been lifted from what we have seen in Gaza. There is an entire sequence of defenseless people picking up sticks and pieces of paper and literally whatever they can to fight off literal imperialism. At one point the film says they're going to stand up against this far superior army with whatever they have, regular civilians. What are they going to do? And do you know how we know that it is definitely anti-Israel? The pro-Israel community is pissed off about it. Apparently the film is incredibly disrespectful and distressing. There is a highly advanced fictional country that is an ally of the US that is attacking a defenseless neighboring people who live behind a fence in order to colonize their land. That is legitimately the plot of Superman. And of course, if Israel speaks out against the film, it would be seen as, well, if the shoe fits. The victims being predominantly brown, predominantly civilians, predominantly fucking children. And what blows my fucking mind is that so many Americans are going to watch this film and side with the regular civilians. They're going to side with the defenseless people. They're going to see this highly advanced military power colonizing defenseless people for what it is. And all I can pray and hope is that they actually make the connection to real life.
So it's kind of funny because the pro-Palestine people and the pro-Israel people are coming together on this, being equally schizophrenic about the meaning of the movie. There were some posts from Zionists. One said, I was gonna see the new Superman movie, but decided to skip. If I wanted pro-Hamas propaganda, I'd turn to Al Jazeera. Another one said, sad to see Superman being used as anti-Israel propaganda. It was awful in general, but the movie features two fictional nations, one of a nation heavily armed white people hell-bent on genocide, represented by anonymous soldiers and an evil old white leader. The other, poor brown people, are represented by innocent children, literally waiting to be mowed down by tanks. They raise their homemade flag of hope, the Superman emblem, but you will see a glimpse of their watermelon-colored flag in the background. terrible perversion of this beloved franchise, which has such tight historical and philosophical ties to Judaism.
Again, I want to point out that this movie was written before the 2023 writer's strike, so you could make the excuse for some lines being thrown in there to be kind of funny like that, right? But the structure of the film, the major points that carry throughout, those were written before this conflict even took place.
When a Superman movie goes full nuclear anti-Jew, that's when you know the shit has truly hit the fan. Prepare yourselves. This is going to be an ugly century.
You could say that the movie is pro non-intervention, given Lois's take on the matter, saying that who are you to get involved in this battle between two countries that has nothing to do with you? Whereas Superman says, if I see a conflict, if I see someone suffering, I see something bad happening, I can't just sit it out. It's not who I am.
These takes, whether they're written by someone like Hassan Piker or that TikToker, or if they're written by hardline Zionists, they're equally delusional. And sadly, written by people who have let politics rot their brains to the point they're not able to enjoy straight up entertainment. They're not able to interpret art anymore.
This was a tweet that I saw. It said the new Superman movie is basically Nazi agitprop against Jews. As the film reaches its climax, Lex Luthor and Israel try to exterminate all of humanity and the entire universe with a black hole so as to stop Superman from saving Gaza. Well, Lex Luthor did it because he hates Superman. Right? Mm-hmm. Lex Luthor has no bones to pick about what's going on in Jar and Poor. He's using it as a way of getting to Superman. The Baravia stand-in for Israel basically dominates and lords over America. No, the Baravian prime minister dude is like subservient to Lex in the movie because he wants the land. And that's between Lex and Baravia, not Baravia and the U.S. government. Though theoretically, you could make the point that Lex is working as a contractor for the U.S. government, so maybe that's a connection. You could be right about that. He says that the Baravia stand-in for Israel basically dominates and lords over America, wantonly slaughtering random American civilians with constant false flag terror attacks against New York City skyscrapers. I wish I was kidding, but it was literally a Groyper movie. It's like something out of Goebbels. They literally present Zionist as an interdimensional cosmic threat to all life in the universe.
It should also be mentioned, by the way, that David Cornsweet, who stars as Superman, happens to be Jewish. Another Zionist said, I'm a man boiling with rage. Yesterday, I went with my son to watch the new Superman, the ultimate superhero character created by two Jewish immigrants, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, in the 1930s. The character is supposed to represent hope, justice, and light. The actor playing Superman, Jewish. The studios owned by Jews. This is written by a Zionist, by the way. Even the character himself, symbolically and historically, is considered to have Jewish roots, a refugee sent from crisis and war to save a better world, created to empower Jews who returned from the Holocaust. And what did the pathetic progressives in Hollywood do? They trampled all over this.
Well, to be
and
fair,
it just goes on and on. It's a whole dissertation.
They did point out that he wasn't saved to save anything this one. He was saved to colonize the entirety of Earth and create a harem.
Well, I'm assuming that's why he thinks that it's a movie that hates Jews, I suppose.
I wonder what would have happened if this movie had come out prior to the most recent conflict of what's going on. But
they'd find some other way to ruin it for themselves, I'm sure.
I suppose it's better than having it be some allegory for Russia and Ukraine. That's just so 4 years ago.
Yeah, these people are joyless.
Maybe that's the comparison. Because in the movie... does Lex give all of the billions of dollars in LexCorp manufactured weapons to Jar and Poor for like $1 billion, despite being like $80 billion worth of weapons? Or does he give it to Baravia? I think he gives like $80 gazillion worth of weapons to Baravia, but only charges them like $1 million or $1 billion.
We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Spider-Man had a 4-issue event focusing on the Salem witch trials featuring Doctor Doom, Scarlet Witch, and the Vision. The Invaders comics were also based on World War II and the Nazis. These wackos just don't read comics. I didn't know about any of that.
Look, the thing is it does get hard sometimes. If all you do is read about politics and obsess about politics, you start to see it everywhere. And that's usually a good time to kind of disconnect for a while and maybe touch a little grass.
Touching grass is very, very good. Highly recommend.
I mean, unless you're in Jarampur where there is no grass and you're getting invaded.
Touch some rubble.
Yeah,
maybe.
Touch some rubble.
Touch some sand.
All right, let's do some super chats.
Gordon Shumway said, "Happy Thursday, B. Rhett, Mary Queen of Scoffs, and the Big Levanti."
Cheers, man.
Weary Traveler said, "Another reason to love Superman." But what? Like, is he Zionist or not? Like, I don't know.
Listen, it's all subjective. It's all subjective.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Mary is right. All frozen fries use seed oils as a preservative. The only way to get away from it would be to get a fry cutter and make them fresh." Well, there are some places that don't do that. There's like an app. I forget what it's called. I think it might be called like Seed Oil Finder or something. It's an actual app that's available now where you can look in your general area and find the closest restaurant that doesn't use seed oils, or at the very least that lets you choose, that lets you request it. And I don't think Steak and Shake would be listed on there because they're not going full maha. It's very deceptive.
In the chat, Michael Garcia says Superman is sending another $150 billion to Israel. Could be. I don't know.
So yeah,
I don't know where he's getting $150 billion.
In the movie, he is obviously American. He's not Baravian. Right?
See, I still like the idea. It's a meme that's been going around for years of making a comedy about Superman where the CIA keeps trying to kill him and they keep failing and they don't know why, but they're trying to kill him because he's such a good journalist, not because he's Superman. He keeps exposing corruption in the CIA, so they keep trying to take him out, and they can't kill him because he's Superman and they don't know his secret identity.
I like that idea. Yeah. 200 Watt Studio said, "What does a cheating astronomer say to a woman to let her know he likes her? I want to see Uranus."
Oh boy.
Nice. Real clever.
We're a high class operation over here at PCC.
Buying tickets to Coldplay was the beginning of their bad decisions.
I'm a little surprised that you actually even said that comment. A lot of times it's.
If it were vulgar, I don't think it was that bad. It wasn't that.
You could have said Uranus.
What? Is that how you're supposed to say?
No, but you could just pronounce it wrong.
Yeah. Fifi Gigantor said, "My 20-year-old cat died and I am sad. He was the best."
I am very sorry to hear about that.
Rest in peace to your cat.
That is very sad.
Sorry for your loss.
Let's
Adam
do one more.
Said, "I like those too, Phil." I think he's referring to the hoop earrings.
Yeah.
I just assumed like most men thought hoop earrings were some kind of red flag.
Nope.
Am I wrong to think that's the general sentiment?
Yes.
Because I have heard that before.
I mean, look, there are people that are going to be like, "Oh, that's a red flag," about literally anything.
Everything.
Any woman that did something that, you know, has somehow wronged a man, all the things that he associates with her are going to be, he's going to say, "Oh, that's a red flag," or he's likely to say that's a red flag. But I don't think that it really hasn't.
It's like
it has anything to do with it.
When I told you a major green flag is if a woman doesn't have the most recent phone. And that, to me, like I said, the idea is like somebody technology obsessed or needs the newest thing just feels like you're a consumerist, blah, 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 blah. That's just my interpretation.
Thank you. Well, if you're looking out for...
Does not mean it's true of a person who has the newest phone.
Thank you, guys. If you're looking out for signs that a woman is a consumerist, probably better to watch out for Labubu's and the Rode Beauty lip gloss phone case.
I was
not
just
the actual
that.
model of the phone.
I was literally just thinking that as I was saying it. I'm like, where's that
The
stupid phone
Labubus
case?
are a red flag. I will just say that.
I
Like
love-
a woman who collects Labubus is certifiably insane.
I love the meme that's like, if you're in your 40s, put the Labubu down and start contributing to your 401k.
They've got to stop. It's a problem.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. We live in an age where men are not approaching women in public anymore. They're not even sliding into their DMs. They're afraid of being seen as creepy. They're afraid of the consequences of the Me Too movement. And also, in my opinion, they're just being a little bit too timid. So women have to become resourceful. They have to come up with their own solutions to this problem. And some of them are coming up with ways to make the first move on the guy they're interested in, especially if he happens to be someone that you work with. So this is a bizarre idea, but I'm willing to entertain it as a possibility. They're stealing men's lunches in order to get asked out on a date.
Is this the grown woman's version of a boy pulling on pigtails at a playground?
It's just, a reason to talk to someone, if you're walking up to...
Oh, is this yours? I am so sorry.
Yeah. If you're walking up to your female coworker to accuse her of stealing your food, well, it's still a conversation.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen? The possibilities are endless. And this was spread by a TikToker named Nicole, talking about the current state of dating in New York City. She was the one who presented this idea, and it got a lot of attention. So let's take a look.
Got it here. Here we go.
Guys, the dating scene is getting so bad in New York City that I am seeing on TikTok there are girls going into Midtown during the week and stealing Finance Bros salads for lunch. And then looking their name up from the salad order on LinkedIn and then messaging them through there and being like, hey, oh my god, so sorry, I grabbed your salad. Like, let me just make it up to you and buy you a new one. And that's how they're, like, sliding in, which honestly, smart. Why are we stealing men's salads? Like, why can't they just come up to us at a bar? Like, why is it getting to this point? Men, just please step up, or your salad's gonna fucking get taken. Your lunch is gonna get taken every week. Like, I'm seeing girls get so creative these days. Like, they're making bracelets with their phone numbers on them and giving them to you guys at the bars.
That seems like a really bad idea.
Who knows where that could end up.
They are taking pictures of you sneakily and then being like, hey, oh my god, making it their phone screen, and then being like, hey, can you take a picture of me and my friends so you can see that your picture is their home screen. All just different ways to try to talk to you guys, because you guys don't come up to us in New York City, and it's crazy. Like, I know there's so many beautiful women, like, just go up to one of them, buy them a drink. You guys have money, you live in the city, you can buy a drink. Stop being cheapos.
Yeah, it's because they're
Stop being cheapos. I hate this woman, and I've never met her. But like, just it's the attitude that I actually hate.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, just the idea, like the idea that, or the fact that she's like, oh, I don't even know why men can't just do this simple thing. Why can't you just go up to women and blah blah blah. This is such a ridiculous, ignorant take, and it just drives me nuts.
So you mean she should be aware of the fact that
she should put a tiny bit of effort into understanding that there are other people that experience life differently to her. Like, there's tons of dudes out there that talk about this kind of stuff all the time, but women aren't interested in listening to dudes at all. Women aren't interested in dudes. What dudes think or how guys feel. They're not interested in how guys feel. They're not interested in what guys think. They're only interested in what will this guy do for me. And that's exactly her attitude right here. It's 100% the attitude. She doesn't give a crap about like what guys experience or what guys go through or what it's like to be a young guy nowadays. She's just like, why aren't you doing what I want? Like an absolute scumbag.
Well, she did say she is not personally resorting to stealing men's food, but she has heard that this is becoming a trend and is considering it. I have to applaud just the creativity of that alone. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's quite...
Of stealing the lunch?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
It harkens back to it's the type of thing you imagine hearing from like a married couple who has a creative story about how they got together.
Meet cutes.
It's a very
Meet cutes are a thing of the past.
Unfortunately, it doesn't sound real to me. It sounds like a Hollywood writer's idea more than a real person's idea of how people actually get together.
She says she knows women who do this. I don't know what to make of it. But to what you said, Phil, I am interested in men's perspectives about this, and I've read a lot of them and listened to a lot of them, and I just disagree. From the bottom of my heart, I disagree with the idea that men are hesitant to ask women out because of Me Too. Usually what they say is, it's because of Me Too. I don't want to catch a case because I came up to a girl at a bar, whatever. I don't think that that is tethered to reality. You're not in any serious danger of catching a lawsuit or a criminal case by saying hello to a woman you find attractive in a public setting. Yeah, you shouldn't be engaging in high-risk behavior of hooking up with random strangers that you don't know and have no reason to trust.
Do you think she doesn't engage in those type of high-risk behaviors? Do you think that the people that she's thinking should be coming up to her, do you think she thinks those people would not be engaging in high-risk behaviors? Or do you think that the people that she actually would want to talk to, she wouldn't engage in high-risk behaviors or wouldn't want them to engage?
I'm not saying that she or the men she's interested in wouldn't do that. I'm just saying the risk in hooking up with a stranger is real. The risk in talking to a stranger is completely something that you blow out of proportion in your mind, especially for men in their 20s these days. The worst case scenarios that they're coming up with about what could happen if they talk to a woman that they find attractive at a bar or wherever is totally fairy tale level. I mean, you're not going to get sued for saying hello to a woman or offering to buy her a drink. That is absolutely insane.
Do you think guys are only worried about like legal ramifications?
I'm talking about their explanations, which I think are insane. They are the ones saying it's because of Me Too. My perspective is that's a really flattering way about saying to everyone, I'm too scared to talk to women because rejection terrifies me.
Yeah, okay, so I basically agree with that. I think when guys say Me Too, they're not thinking of it as just legal repercussions, though that they do think that's possible. And because of the way that the internet is, feeds people information, because of that, I think that they think that it happens more than it does. But I do think that the more common ramifications of like being embarrassed, being made fun of, possibly being put on blast, put on the internet, filming something and putting it on the internet and embarrassing you. I think those are the things that they're more concerned with when they say Me Too. And I think that it's just, I think the Me Too, or the phrase Me Too, is more of a colloquially describing the situation than actually, than being arrested or being accused of rape or whatever.
But even if we're talking about getting put on blast on social media, you're letting your algorithm convince you live in a world that doesn't exist. Going up to a woman at a bar, do you think she's about to pull out her phone, start recording, and say, "He's raping me, he's raping me"?
Again.
I mean, that's just not going to happen.
But you again went to the raping stuff.
No, I'm just saying, I'm making a joke. But you think she's going to start recording and being like, "Look at this creep, he came up to me at a bar. Everyone on TikTok, go find his LinkedIn page and make him lose his job." Like, that's not real.
Jumping to the losing the job thing. Like, the point that I'm making is just embarrassing them, making a fool out of them, not legal repercussions, not lose your job, not these kind of bad things happening in your life. The point that I'm making, because dudes, when they're young, they're very sensitive to being embarrassed. They don't want to be embarrassed, and it's embarrassing enough for a woman to say no, to shoot you down. Then throw in the possibility that maybe she filmed it, or maybe she does film it, or whatever kind of other scenarios that they can make up in their mind. Add that into the fact that people are generally not socialized the way that they used to be because of the internet and because of smartphones. You're not going out and trying things and failing and learning things on your own. Like when little kids have to be allowed to try to do things, mess it up, and figure out how to do it. And nowadays, parents will spend so much time doing everything for the kids that kids are not resilient. When you do, and that's been the way for all of Gen Z. They've been essentially bubble babies. You know, they're the whole world has been made flat for them, you know, snowplow parents and stuff like that. And when you have a generation that's raised like that, they're not resilient enough to take the slings and arrows of reality. Kids bring their parents to job interviews now. Like, so these things are the problem. And sure, so maybe guys are catastrophizing and they're thinking, oh, this terrible thing could happen. But the reason they're catastrophizing like that is because they're not resilient. They don't have the ability to say, well, she didn't like me, no big deal, can go to the next one. It's a major, major injury to their ego and to their self-esteem. And when you can barely get up the gumption to go out into the world and look the cash register, the guy at the person at the cash register in the eye, you know, trying to talk to someone is far more difficult. Trying to talk to someone, especially when you're like, oh, maybe, you know, see if she likes me. It's just more difficult for kids that are not properly socialized. And I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm not saying this is the way it should be. I think that parents should actually spend more time socializing their kids and letting their kids go out and play and do things that are where they're going to fail and fall and hurt themselves and learn that it's not the end of the world. But her perspective doesn't give any consideration to that. It's, oh, I'm this great thing, and why don't men know it, and why aren't you coming up to me? And if you don't, well, you're a loser, you're this, blah 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 blah, and all these things that are automatically you know, all these aspersions that are cast onto guys. I think that her perspective is actually the unrealistic one, or is more unrealistic than the guys who are self-conscious and expected to go and, you know, do all the things for the girls. Like, I just think that her perspective is very self-centered and very much doesn't think of what it's like to be a young guy nowadays.
No, I agree. We have a couple of 20s. Weary Traveler said Phil is 100% correct. And another from B. Mauser, even a short neutral video posted to TikTok or Facebook post can be embarrassing and damage friendships, jobs, etc. Okay, I completely grasp what you're saying. She doesn't really develop a theory of mind for the men in these scenarios, and everyone needs to think about something from another person's perspective and step into their shoes. And I agree that she's coming at it from a totally self-absorbed view of these interactions. But I also agree with what you're saying about the way Gen Z has been socialized, or actually not socialized.
Yes.
And the fear of rejection in young men today is so much more severe, I think, than any previous generation of men. I mean, that is a universal human experience. The fear of rejection, that's something that we just have, but it's been built into something so monumental. Yep. And it is unrealistic on the part of the guys to assume that those scenarios are going to take place. It's also unrealistic of the girls to assume that everything in dating and interpersonal interactions with the opposite sex is going to go the way that they please. Now, it seems like women have thought, okay, I guess we have to take matters into our own hands. And they also, being human, fear rejection and have difficulty, you know, processing it afterwards. I came across this example of a woman who took her friend's advice and decided to make the first move on a guy at a bar, and it did not go her way. And this was what she posted after the fact.
Here we go.
I think I owe the men of the world an apology. Let me explain. Before you
What's
come
the
to my
fist
comments.
for?
Yeah, I don't know what that is about.
I always think to myself, why don't men just approach women? Why? It's not that hard. Just say hi. Just say hi. Your hair is pretty. It's not that hard, right?
Okay, she can't understand her own gender if she thinks walking up to a woman and saying your hair
is pretty. Like, can I have a piece?
There's 30 years of
like, what is
there's
that?
30 years of movies of people being portrayed saying that exact thing is creepy.
Yeah.
So
100%,
okay,
100%.
let's continue.
Well, last night I learned it is hard, okay? And let me tell you what happened. So I'm just sitting at the bar with my buddies, just having a fun time, and in walked some men who were attractive. One in particular, I was like, wow, he's very handsome. So I'm chatting with my friends who are all male in this conversation. I'm like, what do I do? Because I don't really approach men ever, but I also don't ever get approached. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, how bad could it be? So they suggest I send him a drink. And I'm like, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. That's so smart. So I sent him his drink of choice, which was a Corona with lime. Whatever, should have known. Anyway, so some time goes by.
That's her own defense mechanism creeping in.
And he has not acknowledged that I've sent this drink. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go over there. I walk up and I say, hey, how's your beer? You know, I like bat my eyelashes, you know. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, you sent this? Yeah, I did. It was me. And then he said nothing. 0 words exchanged. And you know that gif of Britney Spears where she's like holding her purse and she's just standing there looking around like this? That was me in real life. And we just stared at each other. And I said, okay, enjoy your night. And then I had to turn around and march my way back to my little bar stool, just wrapped in rejection. And now I have to think about that for the rest of my life.
How many, like, and, like, the...
So, gentlemen, I'm sorry. That shit sucked.
Like, dudes, for a dude, that's actually like, all right, well, that was okay. Because guys, like, the first, or the one of the most common rejections, like, sure, they could smile and laugh and say, no, thank you. And that, you know, that would be nice. That's actually probably the preferred rejection. But, like, it is completely realistic to think that a guy would be like, hey, and the girl would go, ew. And that right there is far worse than just saying, oh, you sent this? And then not saying anything. Like, I mean, literally, ew. Like, that kind of stuff is completely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, you know, maybe people are beginning to understand each other.
It reminds me of that Jordan the Stallion, like, TikTok where a woman goes, like, ask a girl out. What's the worst that could happen? He goes, no. I'm paraphrasing here. It's like, I was in high school and I went up to a popular girl and asked her to the prom. She goes, that must have been really difficult for you.
That's so brave.
Like,
She
again,
Yeah.
just the
you
most...
never know what the worst case scenario
And
is.
then you have to remember when women use shame as a tool. A girl might not be interested in dating a guy, but if her friends are around, or even within earshot, way more of a chance that she insults him to raise her level according to her friends.
I see.
Than to just be like, no, thank you.
Well, if your friends think that's cool, they're shitty people, and so are you. But
well, I mean,
a lot of shitty people out there.
How are you supposed to know when you're just risking going up to some girl cold, you know? So it's, I really think that women have unrealistic expectations of men, considering the context that we're in.
This phenomenon will be omnipresent as long as the internet exists, because now as women commiserate their stories on TikTok, she might not say, he raped me. She might not even name him by name. But just the idea of this video getting made about some poor interaction, only he needs to see it for it to be humiliating.
Yeah.
Only he needs to know that she's going to talk about this.
Well, it was supposed to be a story that was embarrassing
I'm talking about the first video.
herself.
I'm talking about the type of woman in the first video who's making a video. Again, I have an irrational hatred for videos of people putting their makeup on while talking about stuff like this. I hate it. I think it's intentionally dismissive and manipulative to coerce you into feeling a connection to this person because they're putting their makeup on while they're talking about these things. And the idea that, you go out there and you risk, embarrassment. Maybe she doesn't embarrass you in person. Is that any better than her telling some story to 100,000 followers online? And they don't have to start out that way. Sometimes it's a person with 5 followers and the video goes viral. And then it's seen by everyone. Look, again, that's not to say that it's rational. Yeah. I'm not saying that is a rational thought, but the illusion of wanting to go back to a time where men go, "Oh, hello, madam," and then they kiss them on the hand. Women aren't the women they were in the 1960s.
Shaken, not stirred.
Women aren't the women they were in the 1960s anymore. Women are not the prim and proper creatures that they were then, and men are not the same creatures that they were then. Yeah. Both, I would say honestly, both of them for the worse. Mm-hmm. And women want the behavior from a time that is long since past, while not being willing to sacrifice, or at least understand that the time we live in now doesn't condone it.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate what Phil is saying. My thing is, there's no obvious solution there other than exposure therapy.
I mean, so here's the thing. Like, there was the guy, we did the cringe of the day guy goes, he went to Disney World, he asked 100 women out. Remember? Like, didn't we do this? A guy goes to
this might have been when I was out of town.
And the whole point was that he wasn't expecting to hear yes from any of them. He's like, "Oh, you're pretty. Want to go out? Oh, you're like," and he would just go from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to ask. I don't remember if it was ask them out or tell them they're pretty. But the point was, he would just go up to random women and say this. So if we're talking exposure therapy, like that's the guy's way of reasserting control of that situation. Like, I'm going to turn it into content before you can turn it into content.
No, probably the more valuable aspect of that would be the fact that he's going and talking to people far more than he would make on any video that he made.
But they're not willing to do it without turning it into content.
Just to be fair, I see just as many videos of women telling their stories about creepy men as I see men with smart glasses recording their cold approaches to women in public. I've
never seen that, but they shouldn't be doing that.
Just as many of those types of videos recording strangers as I see women telling stories about the awful dates that they've been on.
And both of those people are bad.
And they're all despicable, and everyone has room for improvement.
Okay, the most black-pilling part about the article about this was like, it says, dating apps are dead, DMs are creepy, and no one approaches anyone in the wild anymore. Well, if you can't even muster up like a well-written approach online where theoretically you have an even like worse chance of success because there's a gazillion people who have the ability to send a DM and are probably more bold there than they are in the real world. Like, if you can't even muster up a well-written DM to court a woman on the internet, your chances are even less good in the real world. So what does that leave? Church? Is this what they're going to say? Church? We all know that's, from everything that I know, from the people that I know that are religious, that's not the answer either, because they're not hanging out in church anymore.
That's why my best advice to anyone asking me, of all people, for dating advice, which I find ridiculous in the first place, is just to be open and not to compartmentalize your dating life and your social life and your professional life in these little clean, neat boxes, and just to be open to saying yes to literally everything. That's the best advice I can muster up.
I just I don't think, as long as the internet exists and people are the way they are, both men and women, this won't change. In fact, it's only going to get worse. On top of the fact that so much of it is used for content fodder and the sake of trying to pit men and women against each other when it's never that simple.
Well, it does make the playing field easier for the people who actually want to try.
This is why they chose the bear. Okay, let's do the super chats.
We'll finish these up. Pop Culture Junkie said, adding female simpery to my extended vocabulary. You're welcome for that. Shane H. Wilder said, it's not because of pearls, it's because you're spastic. Well, that girl specifically did come off as kind of a spaz, yeah. Waffle Sensei said, I'm sure that Israel being mad about the Superman border dispute is not going to serve as a confirmation for people that it is about Israel, LOL.
I mean, but that, like, them being mad about it doesn't change whether, you know, and look, James Gunn's politics being what I'm sure they are, you know, I think he was at that fundraiser for Joe Biden in 2020 with the rest of the Marvel people. Maybe I'm misremembering that. It is what it is. Like sometimes you just go to the movie and you just have a good time.
And it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that.
Look, I see a lot of people who have their own criticisms of the movie when they were talking about how the portrayal of Jor-El and Lara is like turns Superman from a Christ from a Christ allegory to a Lucifer allegory. I'm like, y'all will never be happy. like, and these are from people I respect. They're better than me. That was Joel Berry, I thought, that said, the dude from the Babylon Bee. I don't know what his history of reviewing movies is, but I saw people who I respect and are much smarter than me when it comes to movies agreeing with him. But then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go have fun. And you go, you know, if it's a Lucifer allegory and Satan rises up because of the Superman movie, I guess I'll say my bad. But until then, I think it's kind of like the joke. It's like, you found it offensive. I found it funny. That's why I'm happier than you. You found it Luciferian. I found it fun. That's why I'm happier than you.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, the truth is Superman is an allegory for your mom.
Got him. 200
Watt Studio said, I have no problem when a girl wears pearl earrings. Just makes me want to help complete the look with a pearl necklace. Well, that's awfully sweet.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What did he say? What was that? Super chat?
What about it? It wasn't that complicated.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm confused. No Diggity said, what about tattooed makeup? What about tattooed makeup?
What is tattooed makeup?
Some women will get like eyeliner tattooed on their eyes, or
are we talking like
liner.
the eyeliner eyebrows?
No, I'm talking about like eyeliner on there.
Well, that is a thing. Like, you can get semi-permanent like eyebrow hairs, like they're kind of tattooed on your face, or lipstick. They do that, or eyeliner too, which
do lip liner.
Terrifying that you can put a needle on your eyelid. Like, that's
I'm gonna like, again.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I guess the idea would be like, I would hope that I know enough about a person, like, before I'm looking at them that close to, like, you know, how close do I have to look at a person? How much do I have to know them before I'm looking at them close enough to notice threaded eyebrows?
Yeah, what is it? They take the threads and, like,
I don't know.
They're like two threads.
I've seen the videos. It looks painful.
It's probably less painful than
I
other
did
ways.
see like some movie or some like tweet that was added to a Instagram reel that was like, men claim to be the superior gender, but have you ever plucked one of their eyebrows out?
Then they're like,
and then a guy responded. He says, "Girls say the same thing, but every time I uppercut them, they cry out in pain." Because she's like, "But then they cry out in pain when you pluck their eyebrows." The guy's like, "Well, I uppercut them and they cry out in pain." And everyone's arguing in the comment section about this utterly ridiculous hypothetical, and this is why everybody's mad at each other.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Do my pearl snap shirts make me a high maintenance dude, or am I just a typical Texan?"
Probably a typical Texan.
I don't think I've even seen that before.
I have a pearl snap shirt. I asked Olivia, I'm like, "Can I wear this to the wedding rehearsal?" She's like, "No."
Are you high maintenance?
I'm high maintenance.
Zach Yandel said, question, so have y'all ever read/watched a story that you disagree with the philosophical premise, but you just can't stop? I have this problem.
I don't know how often I watch stuff where I find I guess if we were to talk about like a long-term approach, I think that the show House is unbelievably cynical about the human experience, and I disagree with that. But I appreciate the way in which it's done. But
yeah, that's like almost everything that we watch now.
Yeah.
For instance, like, I like Mr. Robot, but the whole message of the show is like steal from the rich and give to the poor. Like, it's just straight up Marxist, but I think it's a good show.
And that's most of what you see.
Yeah, that's everything.
It's like...
Corey Anderson said, 14 and this deployment is over. I miss my dogs. Brett, will you ever move away from Bucket and Dusty?
Well, I hope you're home soon for the dogs. I don't want to move away from Bucket and Dusty. Bucket and Dusty are fantastic. Though you see a lot less of Dusty, especially in the summer because it's so hot out and he's got so much more fur than Bucket.
You gotta shave him.
But
Give him the lion cut.
Bucket was right outside as I was leaving for work today. He was just waiting for me, hoping I'd give him food.
Sweet. Weary Traveler said, "Oh, I bet she was more than energized." Yeah.
In relation to what? What was that?
Kristen Cabot, the HR executive.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said, "What is your favorite cut of meat?" Mine is ribeye.
Phil?
Such a random question.
Yeah, ribeye.
New York strip.
I don't know. Like steak is steak, I guess.
No.
I don't know. I don't know the difference between all these things. Adam said, "Make a picture of a taco hugging Mary from behind." That's so creepy. Corey Anderson said, "Would any of you consider yourselves romantics?" What do we say?
I do think of myself as a romantic.
Yeah?
I do.
How about you, Phil?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's this guy that does he's kind of in the red pill space, and there's this, and I think Rollo Tomasi says this too, but like men are the actual romantics and women are not, and I think that that's right.
Yeah, it's not to say that women don't like appreciate romantic gestures or whatever, but like they're more pragmatic because they're focused on safety.
Absolutely. Not just safety, but being able to can the man provide for them and stuff like that. So yeah, like men want a woman that's a ride or die, and no matter what, the woman's gonna love him. And there are women out there that will meet a man and that'll be the case, but most women will love you for what you can do for them. So
yeah,
that's just
to an extent.
Yes.
I just think like people say things like that to like make it sound like it's some kind of like evil thing. Like I don't think there's anything like wrong with the way that we're designed. I think it's perfect.
but men need to understand the realities of women, what women are really like, not what women say they're like.
Sure.
Because women lie to each other all the time. Women lie to themselves all the time. And not that people don't, because people do lie to themselves. I'll get up and I'll do it tomorrow. Bull crap. I'll do it right now. This is just human beings.
Yeah.
This is 100% human beings. But when women do it, they do it in contexts of relationships and stuff like that. And I think that if more men understood what women were saying when they were saying things, I think that men would have better outcomes. And there are no, nowadays, if you tell young men what women actually mean, people will call you misogynist. So,
as for myself, I would not call myself a romantic. I guess that's kind of proving the rule, but I like, that's not to say, of course, that I like don't appreciate romantic things, but I'm very, I don't know. I feel like most of that these days is just about like grand gestures that you can take pictures of and post on social media, and I hate that. So
yeah, and that's not romance either.
That's not romance.
That's posturing.
Big romance. That's an industry right there.
That's showing off to your friends. That's being like, look at the man that I got. Look at what my man did for me. That's all about posturing, and that has nothing to do with romance.
Sarenko Productions said, "Our matey, I also use ad-free Tubi." We're not gonna even comment on that.
Some poor person watching the streams can be at home like looking for the screen
looking
that says
for
like, "Where's the
ad-free
ad? Like, I want to buy the ad-free version."
Shane H. Wilder said, "Come on, Brett, you know ad-free Tubi. It does require a VPN to work well."
Yes, that's true.
We're familiar. Weary Traveler said the leader of Boravia looks like Ben Gurion, one of the founders of the modern state of Israel, which is one reason why people are saying it's Israel.
So here is.
Do we see a resemblance?
There's the actor. I didn't find any stills of him in the movie, but his hair is definitely more like him in the movie.
Okay, wait. I want to flip back and forth. Oh, I see it. Yeah. They're not making it up. That is a resemblance for sure.
I mean, I just can't wait to find out later, just like 5 years. You know what's going to happen the day after, like he gets fired by David Zaslav, James Gunn. Yeah, it was about Israel. Fuck you.
F all of you. Thank you, guys.
Because Superman sucks.
Adam said, "Go Phil, Snyderverse here also. Will not watch Superman."
Bro, okay, I'm
not
sorry.
saying. Hold on, I'm not saying that I won't watch it. I'm just not gonna go out and try to find it. If I ever if it's on a plane or something like that, I'll probably watch it.
Love a plane movie.
Yeah, I'm just not looking to go and see it. But go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry.
I'm just. Never mind. Continue.
No, come on, man.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing. I can't rightly complain because I won't see A24 movies on principle, so it would make me a hypocrite. Continue. You're good. You're good.
You're valid. You're
valid.
seen, heard, and validated.
You are seen, heard, valid. Like, go off. King.
All the things. Shane H. Wilder said, "You think it's a pro-American superhero film? Well, how about you make your own superhero then? Our superheroes are rules."
What the hell was the? She's also like the hyper patriotic like pro-America superhero movies. I'm like, what one is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
In
what
the last
she's
10 years, what the hell are you talking about? The last time I can remember that was in Independence Day when all of the other poor countries had to be like, America finally wants to defeat the aliens. How are we going to do it, America? I love that.
How long ago would that be now?
1996.
Yeah. Waffle Sensei said, "Can we all just agree that Jor-El, Superman's dad, is Andrew Tate?" Do you see the resemblance?
I mean, he did tell him to go form a harem. So,
all right.
I don't know if Andrew Tate said that.
Snozhead said,
okay, I don't know personally whether Jor-El would know who Lauren Southern is. I don't.
No. Snozhead said, "Soups was an orphan raised by Christians in America." Is that canon? I don't know anything about Superman.
That is canon.
Okay. Value in You said, "Phil, top 2 or 3 musical influences growing up, not including Metallica."
Iron Maiden, Judas Priest were the ones when I was very young, and then probably like Carcass and At the Gates. At the Gates had a real big impact on me. Like the sound of All That Remains was heavily influenced by At the Gates. So.
Weary Traveler said, "Men step up after a decade of Me Too and third wave feminism. I think women need to step up." Well, they are stepping up.
They're stealing
your
lunch.
salad. That's their version of stepping up.
Yeah,
like it or not, that's what it looks like.
So I want to put this out there. Like, I have no problem with that kind of icebreaker, because really all the stealing the salad is breaking the ice.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just it's coming up with a reason.
Dropping the handkerchief, that's what it is.
100%. I have no problem with that at all. Like, go break the ice. However you want to break the ice, go break the ice.
But guys, if you want to, go into her purse and steal her birth control and then bring it back to her. And
Okay.
Disavow.
Wow.
Don't do that. It was a joke.
Don't bring it back. Flush it down the toilet. Actually, don't flush it down the toilet. That means it's going to be in our water supply. I don't know what you should do with it, but don't give it back to her. Weary Traveler, Adam said, "I stay away from stalkers." Are the salad stealers stalkers? They're just resourceful, clever women.
Yeah, like I said, this is this is all just icebreakers.
They're just creative.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, "They must be desperate going for men who eat salad." I agree with that. Maybe go for the dude with the steak. Then again, the dude with the steak would make the first move. Okay, they're talking about the mobile orders at Sweet Green in New York City. They are just left out on the shelf, and I cannot believe that you can get away with that in New York City.
Would be hilarious if the guy called the cops on her. He's like, "This woman stole my sorry, I'm
pressing charges."
He's like, "Look, I'm a Law and Order guy, and I'm gonna need you to go to jail."
And I was having a really hard day, and all I wanted was my chickpea salad, and she ruined that for me.
It's true.
Arsenal Man said, "I don't know about Me Too, but I don't bother talking to women around my area, Seattle, because they're genuinely unpleasant to interact with."
I wouldn't talk to women in Seattle either.
That has a lot to do with your location, definitely. Yeah. 200 Watt Studio said, "My advice to the gals stealing men's lunches: don't steal a vegan lunch because that guy's gay." Facts. Brian Bledsoe said, given Gunn's political views, I don't think it's much of a stretch that he would make it as a criticism of Israel and the U.S. even before October 7th, while making it vague enough to be open to interpretation.
I mean, isn't that his job? Like, that's his job, to leave it open to interpretation so that we can have this discussion right now. To me, that means he did his job. He can have those opinions, and we can argue about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Certainly, I'm sure a Zionist and an anti-Zionist could get on here and debate whether he should have done it. But if the idea is that it's open to interpretation to many different views, then as an artist, he is hitting the mark.
Robert said, Mary, it's not just Me Too or rejection and embarrassment. It's fear of investing, then being led on for free dinners or used as a confidence boost. Then she goes after another she desires more.
Eventually, you'll hit so many hypotheticals that you're just talking yourself out of it.
If you think that about literally all women, you're never going to be in a relationship. And I guess if you're okay with that, fine, go ahead, continue with that perspective. But I do think there is kind of a victim mindset there where you're looking at every potential suitor as a potential, maniacal villain who wants to destroy your life. Like, I think that's a little ridiculous. And you need to also have some faith in yourself that you are a judge of character too. And you can get to know someone and know relatively quickly the quality of the person that you're talking to. And then, of course, if you sense it, man, just leave her with the bill. Genuinely don't waste any of your time if you somehow are able to ascertain that this person is the woman that you're talking about, this mythical woman who what is it called? Foodie calls all of the men that she dates. Yeah, you're going to figure that out like 5 minutes into the date because she's not going to be making any conversation with you.
Or she's really good at her job.
Or she's really good at faking it, yeah. Adam said, and now that guy will stay locked up in his house forever, and this was his first time out and about in like forever. Which guy? The guy who got the beer sent to him? I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be fine. Kyle Dixon said, I too got the pearl necklace joke, Phil. Well, good for you. That's a huge accomplishment in life. Omega Red Fan said, if someone at a bar looks at you with curiosity, doing nothing is good because it allows more potential to unfold.
What?
I don't know what that means. Like,
am I having a stroke? Did I just miss something?
You're supposed to do nothing when someone at a bar looks at you with some level of interest. I think I disagree with that, but I don't know what you're referring to. Mason Miller said, Mary, let me ask you a question about the effort women put into makeup on a first date. How much effort do you want a guy on a first date to put into lying to you? Okay, you're kind of crazy if you think that makeup is a form of lying. I can't even justify that with a counter argument.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
It's very obvious what someone looks like when they're sitting right in front of you. If you're talking about someone's pictures on Tinder or Instagram, that's a different story. There are angles, lighting, Photoshop, all the things. But if you're looking right at somebody, you should probably be able to tell that there's makeup there, especially if it's done badly. Drummer said, pearl necklace, Urban Dictionary, that comment was wild. Y'all are so funny. I'm actually dying right now. I'm slapping both of my knees.
I've seen Mary laugh a lot. She's laughing harder than I've ever seen her laugh in her life.
I'm just saying, I've seen the age demographics for our subscribers. You're too old for this. Brian Bledsoe said another diabolical rejection is when she looks you up and down with an incredulous look while saying nothing. Is that something that's happened to you? I guess people have like the Gen Z stare now. Like, doesn't matter if it's like a customer service thing or dating thing.
Maybe she's just bad at life.
Maybe everyone is just autistic now. Weary Traveler said some men need to date in their league to be fair. A lot are not.
Well, what does that mean? Like, date in your league in this context? Like, is the idea here that he's punching above his weight class every time he goes up to a woman at a bar, and
I mean, maybe a bar isn't the correct setting, but I don't know what is anymore.
Well, you know, is there even like I guess the idea was always like if you're not meeting your spouse at work, and this is before the age of dating apps, maybe you just met through friends. Like people that used to be a thing, right? Like you had friends, and then you had other friends. You introduced this friend to this friend.
If you're single and you don't want to be single, and you don't have friends, the first problem that you should solve is the friend problem.
Yes.
That's
you should be doing everything you can to be attractive and likable, right? Like that means that if you have an opinion that's contrary to something someone else says, be gentle if you must say it, but maybe you don't have to say it. Now, granted, this is context dependent. You don't want to lie. But like you can gently say, "Oh, I don't know if that's the truth," and you can. But you want to be amicable, and you want to be friendly, and you want to be likable. If you want people to like you, you have to be likable. That's just the truth.
And there is no such thing as a likable person who makes a video while putting on makeup. It's impossible.
I don't know why that like triggers you as much as it does. It's people like watching other people do things. You know. Yeah. I've seen it in cooking videos. I've seen makeup, hair.
I'm calling for a national ban.
Cutting aloe.
Jail
they do
time.
Cutting pieces of aloe. Cutting watermelon.
Sorry, guys. I was busy being romantic on my phone.
Because you're a true romantic.
That's me.
I will say, and I have said it before, but I'll say it again, it is a red flag for someone to call themselves a hopeless romantic. Okay? The type of people who post about that online especially and say like, my biggest flaw is that I just fall in love too hard. Like, no, you're crazy. And you just told everyone.
It was like that article that was like woman arrested after calling a man 10,000 times after the first date or something like that.
I don't know if it was 10,000.
It was it was in the thousands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those people are crazy. Do not date someone who describes themselves as a hopeless romantic. Shane H. Wilder said, I blame women being on birth control for why no one steals my steaks and baked potatoes, LMAO. The idea of like a restaurant that has a takeaway menu and they just leave your steak and potatoes on a shelf like at Panera.
They do. Every time I go to pick up Olivia's Panera, I'm like, they're just leaving this shit out there.
And I'm shocked that they do this in New York City of all places. Like, there's no way that they're not getting people like stealing shit all the time. How would they not? It's a very low trust society we live in.
Was this woman really arrested for calling her ex-boyfriend 77,639 times in 1 week?
Yeah.
Online hoax goes viral because people want to believe.
Of course they do. But that's a lot of the thing, like people really want to believe things, you know. Anytime information comes out that confirms their bias,
this poor lady.
The truth.
It says, we did a little digging and discovered that the distraught woman in the mugshot is reportedly an Oklahoma City woman, and it's not even her. She was arrested in 2010.
What did she do?
Crawled through a McDonald's drive-through window when she was asked to pay for her order. That's giving Florida, man.
Queen! Yeah. I support her. You know, they probably got her order wrong. That's probably why.
Yeah.
You know?
Considering there are only 10,080 minutes in 1 week, the story is virtually impossible, no matter how crazy the girl can get. Yeah, but
right. The math wasn't mathing on that one.
That's okay.
Adam said he must be an artist. I'm confused.
Not sure who he is.
Okay. Pop Culture Junkie said, Phil, in terms of having opinions and being careful how you express them, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're hanging out with your boys, or you don't really have any interest in making a friend of the person that you're conversing with, you know, be as caustic as you want. That's, you know, that's perfectly fine. But if your goal is to make friends with someone, how you present yourself matters.
Weary Traveler said if a guy is a 3 and approaches an 8, she's more than likely going to reject you. You can't look like someone who goes to anime cons and expect a Sydney Sweeney to give you a chance. It's reality.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Depends
Are you
on
rich?
what he does for a living.
Yeah. Are you rich?
If he's like, oh, would you like to? Oh, and he drops his Bugatti keys in front of her.
Bugatti.
And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. But anyways, would you like to go on a date? And he flashes his expensive wristwatch. You know, if I'm to be believed that men notice the whole package before making a decision, then a woman is definitely clocking the expensive watch, the expensive keys.
Hey, I thought men were romantics and they want to find love, not a gold digger.
Yeah, I mean, not all men.
Well, no, listen, men want to find love, but men that understand that women are pragmatic know that the way to a woman's heart is via his wallet. Via his success.
Adam said, talking about the hopeless romantic, usually it's the women who describe themselves as the hopeless romantics, and what they're referring to is a little disorder we call borderline personality, and it's incurable. They still have not found a cure.
No.
We're all caught up on the super chats. Are we good on Rumble rants?
We'll go through.
We haven't
Rumble.
checked Rumble yet.
We'll check. I missed a 20 here from Grundmeister. Says a woman described me as ew in text. It completely broke me.
I'm so sorry that happened. That's rough.
You know what, man? You were too good for her.
So true.
New Nova says the kinds of guys who women with the kinds of guys who women with this mentality actually want to meet aren't the same guys asking girls out at bars. The standards for those men are higher, and dating fatigue is a real deterrent.
They're saying the guys that ask out women at bars have low standards.
I can't. I wish I had read this one when we were,
in the thick of it.
Yeah. PKWT says, was the USS Liberty in the new Superman?
Is there an allegory?
Yeah. Well, yeah. See what happened.
The USS Liberty.
What happened, guys, was that Baravia was about to attack Jarampur, and the U.S. got involved, and then to prevent this from happening again, as a retaliation, the Baravian Prime Minister sent the Israeli Navy to attack the USS Liberty.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what it was. I saw the movie. Trust me. What I just said was 100% true. I'm not making it up at all.
All right.
All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already? Please and thank you. Remember to share this episode with your friends, your family, your loved ones, everyone in your life that you love and hate, and then argue about it in the comments section. Help increase our engagement. Phil, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twix. I'm at Phil That Remains. You can find the band All That Remains on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
Weary Traveler says the Baravian hammer was Israel and Superman was the USS Liberty. Well, yeah, I mean, Superman got his ass kicked by the Baravian hammer. You are correct about that.
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. And last week I was mistaken. I was not on IRL, but I am going to be appearing on Timcast IRL tonight. So go tune in.
I saw the list before when the week started. When you said that, I'm like, somebody must have switched.
Total mix up. Yeah,
It
Ian
happens.
was on that night. But yeah, tonight I am on.
I did not see any dancing Baravians in the movie, but I'll check back on my second watch to see if there is. And I saw no passports end up at the bottom of the cosmic hole in the ground. But we'll check next time we watch for any and all clues. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which helps us out a lot. So thank you so much for that. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisisPod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.